Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this video. Right now, where I am, it's a snow day, but that doesn't mean that I'm done teaching. What we're going to be talking about today is lesson number 3, my locals winning Maliss deck profile. Like, that says a lot. And what might be next for my Maliss deck profile going forward. But we're going to get into the list right now. So, hopping right into the deck profile, we're gonna be starting off with 3 Maliss Dormouse, like every other list. I know we're breaking new ground here, but it is the best 1-card starter in the deck. Plays the best through hand traps. If you don't know what it does, as an ignition effect, it lets you banish another Maliss name from your deck, which triggers it and then lets you summon it. So it immediately gets you another body. Then we have 3 Maliss White Rabbit. White Rabbit just lets you set a trap on summon, and then you can immediately play that trap by banishing one of your Maliss monsters. That's just the trap conditions of not her effect, but she's really important in the context of the combos, and she's really important in being able to set up disruption on your opponent's turn. Then I played 3 Chessy Cat. I know I looked at a lot of lists from YCS Orlando, and they cut Chessy Cat down to 2. I obviously hadn't seen those when I went to my locals on Saturday, but I decided that I wanted to play 3 because seeing a Maliss name is the most important thing when you're trying to resolve your combos. So I wanted to play 3 Chessy Cats, so I saw Maliss names as much as possible. And then we played the honorary Maliss card, the 1 Dotscaper. Dotscaper is probably not going to stay in my deck going forward. I really like Dotscaper. He's a homie. I like his card art. But in terms of the combos that I've seen and been made aware of, I don't think that you actually need Dotscaper going forward. He's really a brick in your hand if you hard draw him, unless you have a way to normal summon him and not be able to special summon all your Maliss names. But with that said, he's probably not necessary going forward, so I think I'm going to be cutting him in the future. Then we played 3 Underground. It's the worst starter in the deck, but it's the best extender in the deck. So you want to see Underground as much as possible. And with the Underground, I also played 1 Terraforming, I played 1 Gold Sark, and I played 3 Allures of Darkness. Because Allure can both be an extender. It's another way of getting a Maliss name out of your hand and be able to summon on the field. And it lets you draw cards, which is obviously fantastic. Being able to cycle into your deck and see more non-engine. And to see more, and you guessed it, we're playing Bystials. We want to see as many Bystials as possible. Concluding the Maliss cards that we played the 3 traps. MTP07, we played GWC06 and TB11. This is an E-Telly from the deck. The TB11, GWC06 is a Reborn from Grave or Banish, and MTP07 is a search and a non-target banish if you control a Maliss monster. So getting out from our Maliss cards, we did play the Bystial engine. So I played 1 Lubellion and 1 Regained because they work really well together. Obviously, Regained is an insane card, being able to recycle your Maliss cards. It's good in the mirror. It gets you draws. It reborns Magnemut when it's in your graveyard, so you can keep getting the searches and the grind game off Magnemut. However, I do think I'm going to be cutting the Lubellion and the Regained going forward. Again, the Lubellion doesn't do a whole lot for me on turn 0. It doesn't do a whole lot for me when I go second, so I don't really want to continue to play it. Along with the Regained can be a brick in your hand as well. The MVPs of the deck were all the Bystials. I played 1 Mag, 2 Druis, then I played 2 Saronir, and I played 1 Baldrake. These are just all the Bystials I own. I would play a 3rd Druis if I owned a 3rd Druis, but I'm probably not going to buy one right now with the next Quarter Century set coming out, and a lot of people are thinking that the Bystials are going to be reprinted in that. I did want to play the 2 Saronir, so I'd have more access to Lubellion and have more access to Magnemut. Unfortunately, and he came up, but he came up just as a Bystial name, just as another hand trap and another extender. Baldrake, I love Baldrake. I love when you draw him going first, he creates another disruption. When you have a 2-card combo of Bystials, if you have Druisworm and Baldrake, it deals with 2 monsters on your opponent's field instead of just 1 each. Pretty fantastic cards. Moving on from the Bystials to the true non-engine, we played 3 Shifter, We played 3 Ash. We played 3 Imperm. And we played 1 Talents and 1 Called By. I love having Called By in the main, especially when you're trying to force through your combos. And I love having the talent because hand traps are so prevalent. There's so much non-engine going around. You want to be able to punish people for interacting with you on your turn. And so you can use the talents to rip cards out of your hand to draw 2. It's a tremendous card right now in this format. Moving on to the extra deck. We played 1 Link Decoder for the combo. We played 1 Link Spider just to help us with Nib, and we played 1 Ling Garibo to help us in the mirror and as another Link 1. Moving forward, I think I'm going to cut the Link Spider and just play the Link Decoder and the Ling Garibo. Link Spider, the only time it came up this weekend is I didn't actually need it. I just made it because I had a token to make it with, to use it on, but I actually don't think I need it, and I think I'm going to cut it moving forward so I can play a more flexible Link 4, like a Firewall Dragon or a Topologic Bomber Dragon or even a Topologic Zeraboros. So those are the Link 1s that I played. And then I played for Link 2s, I played Splash Mage, which is the worst extender in the deck, but you need to play it just in case you end up in a position where you're kind of got nowhere to go and you end up with 2 Cybers monsters and you need to get into your White Binder if you get hand dropped a lot. Having access to White Binder is the most important thing in this deck, so Splash Mage being able to get you into the White Binder is really important. Now I played the 1 Lizardos because he's a tremendous extender. Played the 1 Dark. Dark didn't come up. I only played 1 Maliss Mirror and he didn't draw very well, so I ended up not needing to make the Dark. I side out the Dark for a card in my side deck a lot when I play against Ryziel, but I really like the Dark and I'm going to be keeping him in my deck going forward. Then I played IP, I played SP, along with the Nightmare Phoenix. We are playing a Bow, so we played the Phoenix, that way we have another Fiend to be able to go into a Bow in case something happens to my Nightmare Griffin. Those are the Link 2s, Link 3s. The only Link 3s we're playing are the 3 Maliss Link 3s. Red Ransom gets you your field spell. White Binder is the most important card in the deck, being able to reset your traps. She's your entire grind game. She's your way that you're trying to take away your opponent's grind game by clearing out their graveyard. And then Cryptor's your best end board piece. She's a non-target banish. She also helps you to recycle your Maliss names in case they get banished and you can't get them back. For instance, I've had games in the past where Red Ransom or White Binder have been banished, and I need to make Cryptor just so I can recycle them back to my extra deck so I can make them again. And then finally, the Link 4s, we played 1 Access Code, maybe the best, turn 2 extender. When you're going second in the Maliss deck, it gets you a huge body that can swing over threats, and he's an extender in and of himself because he banishes for cost, triggering your Maliss names. We did play the 1 Griffin for in case we get uninterrupted, we want to punish our opponents for not playing with us and not interacting with us, and then we played the 1 Bow in order to bring it back. The Bow is a crazy card. I love this card. Being able to bring back any lighter dark monster, not just the Griffin, is fantastic. I used her this weekend to bring back a Ling Garibo so I could negate a Maliss Trap card. I've used her to bring back Cryptor before. I've used her to bring back White Binder before. She's just super, super strong, and even when we get into Alliance Insight with the changes that are going to happen to the deck in April, I still really want to find a way to keep playing a Bow because a Bow is just a fantastic card. So that is my extra deck. For the side deck, we played 3 Crossout Designator because Lancey is a card. It is a pain. You got to find a way to deal with it. And you don't have a great way of dealing with it. So we play the Crossout Designator so we can try to deal with the Lancia. With that said, we also played 3 Lancia for the mirror. Also, just in case I want to decide on 2 Lances in a matchup where I really don't want to see the Lancia. Like, I really want Lancia to be in my deck so I can try to cross it out. I never actually did that. The only time that I sided in 1 Lancia and then also 1 Meowls, so that way I could try to cross them out. When I was going second, I actually drew both of them, so it never ended up mattering, and I didn't see the cross out. But I ended up winning that game because my opponent bricked. So we take those wins when we can get them. And then we played 3, Fua is just a really strong card. I'm trying to figure out if I want to put this in the main deck going forward or not. Fua is just tremendous, and there's nothing more that you can say about it. Being able to occasionally turn skip your opponent. It's really good into Maliss. It's really good into Ryziel. It's really good against road decks in the meta. You just got to play it at the moment if you can afford it until the next quarter century set comes out. And then next up, we played 3 Ultimate Slayer. I really like Ultimate Slayer, especially because you play it with the 1 aggregator as a target, because it outs a detonator and then it negates either Ryziel Cross or it negates the DD Wife Game Caesar. The issue is that it's not a quick play. You have to really start your plays with it. I'm looking into different things moving forward. If I want to play more hand traps, if I want to play Metal Tronus after seeing some of the lists from YCS Orlando, I'm not sure yet. Metal Tronus does look like a crazy card, but I don't know if I want to commit to changing up my side deck and my extra deck so much to accommodate being able to play Metal Tronus. And then finally, last card in my side deck was 1 Duster, just in case we saw a back row deck. My locals does have some people that really enjoy Labyrinth. All right, we're going to move on from the deck profile, and we're going to talk about some of the changes I could be making in the future. So even though we won our locals the other day, there are changes that need to be made to the deck. We need to keep up with what's going on in the meta. We need to keep moving and getting better. So I wrote up 4 cards that are going to be changed moving into next week, and what we might be changing them for. First off, we have Dotscaper, Rebellion, and Regained. Those 3 cards are going to be gone. We're just going to cross them off. They're gone. What are we going to be replacing them with? We're probably going to be replacing them with Dominus Impulse. I love Dominus Impulse. It's a great trap card. It's a good hand trap. Negate summons. It's good against the Mitsurugi Ryziel matchup, which I think is going to be very tough for Maliss in the future. So we're going to cut those 3 cards and we're going to put Impulse back into the deck, into the main deck. We also might be moving Schefter to the side deck from the main deck in order to accommodate a Fuelos in the main deck. We really want to maximize our ability as Maliss players to win game 1. You have to win game 1 because that's going to be the game that Lancia isn't a factor. People aren't going to main deck Lancia. They're not that crazy because Ryziel exists. They have to respect Ryziel in the main deck because it is really the best deck in the meta right now because people side into Lancia. There's also Fuelos and Meowls as cards that are really hard for Maliss to deal with. So with that said, people are going to be concerned about Ryziel. They're going to side into Lancia when they see you on Maliss. So we need to make sure we win game 1. Link Spider. What are we going to do with Link Spider? Link Spider is going to go. We need to get rid of him. Why? Because you don't actually need him. So like I got nibbed in 1 game and I made a Link Spider, but it wasn't really necessary. I made it because I had Link Spider in my extra deck. I think especially with the Bystials as extenders in your hand, when you're playing, you can really use your Bystials as your extenders to play around Nib. You just have to hold them and use them appropriately and play the deck well. What are we looking to replace Link Spider with? I had 3 ideas that came to mind. First was Firewall Dragon. Putting the Firewall Dragon back into the deck to continue to enable combos and to continue to recycle resources if you need to. You can Saronir dump. If you have a Saronir, you can send it to the graveyard, dump a Magnamut, make Firewall Dragon, add back the Magnamut. It's a little too combo-y, but it's something that you can do. My other idea was Topologic Bomber Dragon. I saw that in somebody's list over the weekend from YCS Orlando. Looked solid, being able to, you're able to summon on your opponent's turn, you're able to clear that, you're able to sequence things in such a way that you can clear your monster zones and be able to clear your opponent's monster zones and still have some plays on your opponent's turn. It's not my favorite because you end up destroying your Heart's Cryptor if it's on the field, you end up destroying your White Binder if it's on the field, and you lose some level of follow-up into the next turn. The next card I thought about, which I like personally better than the Bomber Dragon, is Topological Zeraboros. The reason being is that it does banish both fields completely, but the Zeraboros and the way that you can resolve your change allows you to move the Zeraboros off the field and then bring back your White Binder and bring back a White Rabbit and then reset your MTP07. And if you have a Cryptor Engrave, you can also put your Cryptor Engrave. With everything said, I do need to take a look at the lines moving forward without Dotscaper, because without Dotscaper, you are losing a body in your combos, and I need to start getting ready for next week's locals. I got to use this snow day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to study those lines, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.